Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So today we're looking at the goddess of Dokkan, Pan. Well, I don't know. Pan is super good, right? I don't know if she's quite the goddess of Dokkan, but she's a 50% support that's able to get a 60% chance to dodge. So again, I do think our girl Pan could put in some work. Now, this character is all about dodging, right? So she's a support first and foremost, 50% support. We're going to want her to dodge, right? Like, we don't want the Metal Cooler Core to tag her with a super attack or Cell Max to tag her with a super attack. But Pan also gets buffs. She gets 100% attack and defense and a 50% chance to crit for 4 turns after she dodges. So by doing this right here, giving her 29 dodge in the hidden potential system, we are setting ourselves up nicely for Pan to be able to get quite a bit of dodges in. So let's go ahead and Dokkan Awaken our girl Pan. I will get her to link level 10, and then we will test her out. But Pan, I think, is pretty good. I can see myself using Pan an awful lot. Because, I mean, as a dominant support unit like this, with a dodge chance, you know, you really can feel comfortable running her in these, you know, Cell Max, Metal Cooler Core, right? Red Zone Omega. These types of fights, Pan should be very effective in. Alright guys, so we are here in an event with our girl Pan. I think Pan is a very solid unit. I've had a lot of opportunity to use Pan in difficult content and such. And I do think Pan is pretty good. I think that her design would have been a little bit more effective, though, if they gave her just raw defense or defensive utility over her damage, right? As you guys might have noticed, when you're going into the super tough content, right? So, like, we'll say, like, you know, Red Zone Metal Cooler or something like that. It is, you know, very tough in there. Supports like this really can help out, especially because a lot of these big characters, like, you know, LR Ultimate Gohan, who Pan links up incredibly well with. Here's LR Ultimate Gohan's links, right? Like, she links up pretty well with him. We could get, like, some nice power. She's going to be giving this support, right? Ultimate Gohan is a character who struggles for ki, so he needs to get as much ki help as possible. So bringing, like, a support like Pan could be good. But where I think they run into issues is when they would give a character like this Pan a bunch of offensive ability rather than just giving her straight defense, right? So I think the issue with Pan, you know, all of her passive is really fine until you get to the very bottom where she gets 100% attack and defense and then a high chance to crit for 4 turns after dodging an attack. I think that is the issue. I think once she dodges, she should have gotten some sort of massive defensive buff. Like, why not have her guard, right, for 4 turns after dodging an attack or something? Or she gets damage reduction, or maybe her support could get better. Or she gets a scouter after dodging, you know, for the next couple of turns. Something like that. Just giving a character like this damage, though, it's just, I think it's just stupid. Because this character, we would want in the fight to help Ultimate Gohan. Ultimate Gohan could be one of the best units in the game if he's at his 20 key threshold or higher. But he struggles to get there, so he needs characters like Pan around, right? So Pan then needs to not drag the team down by getting, like, one shot. And Pan does have dodge. She has 60% dodge, which is definitely good. And then, of course, you know, I've built her with full dodge here. So what is my dodge? 29 right here. So my Pan would have a 60% chance to dodge, and if that fails, then she'd have a 29% chance to dodge, right? Which is helpful. Just have the 2 separate dodge procs like that. But that little extra bit of damage, it's like, you know, cool. So she'll do 1 extra health bar off of the Metal Cooler Core, and then it supers her for 1,000,000 damage. Okay, we lost, right? Like, that's why defense is just far superior than offense. Making this character, right, like, this is kind of like, you know what Pan is? Pan is like the bad version of Chi-Lai. I feel like that's what Pan is. She's a shitty version of Chi-Lai is what she is. Whereas Chi-Lai is just 100% utility and defense and support. Pan has got, you know, some defense. She's got some support. But then it's just like a bunch of sort of like offense. Like, they gave her a lot of damage in here as well. And that's just not the way to build these characters. The character where it's like you could give them a ton of damage and you're much better off is, you know, the main Dokkan Fest exclusives and LRs and stuff like that. So Pan, the main thing with her, the super huge stuff, she gives the superheroes category allies 1 key, 30% attack and defense, pretty good. Then if they're also a part of Bond and Parent and Child or Bond and Master and Disciple, she gives another 1 key and 20% attack and defense. So Piccolo, Ultimate Gohan, right? You know, LR Vegeta and Trunks. These characters are getting 50% support from Pan. Very, very powerful. Pan is a really good support type unit, right? But then she only gets a 30% chance to dodge, but then it's an extra 30% chance to dodge if there's one enemy. If there's multiple enemies, Pan gets a guaranteed additional as a high chance to be a super. So that pretty much goes over like what Pan does. She is very effective, but I do not put her in the tier of the very best banner units. Piccolo, Yajirobe, Android 8. I think those designs are just much better for what a banner unit probably should be. So let's go and take a look at what our girl Pan can do here. With Gohan, we'll have Saiyan Lineage and Innocence, I believe. Pan's Link set is All in the Family, Saiyan Lineage, Infighter, Battlefield Diva, More Than Meets the Eye, Innocence, and Fierce Battle. More Than Meets the Eye, I don't like... it makes sense, right? Because this is like damn near baby Pan, and she's like a, you know, like a strong as hell. But like, I don't know. This is not a Link we're gonna get a lot of value out of, I'm thinking. You guys see a lot of characters here we're gonna be linking up with this? Certainly not. So I'm not the hugest fan, I would say, of her having that. And then it just ticks me off. Battlefield Diva. You have all these like this Link is just given to girl characters. But the girl category is not just girls, it's sexy girls, essentially, right? Is the point of the category. Peppy Gals. I wish Peppy Gals was just turned into girls. Have all the girl characters on there. Because Pan has a Link like Battlefield Diva. It's not the greatest Link in the world. 3 key, 5% chance to dodge. Although I guess dodge is super important for Pan, right? But you get the 3 key, 5% chance to dodge. But Pan, you know, you're probably not getting this Link activated for her most of the time. It's just like, they give some of these characters, like Pan's got it. Do some of the Angels have it? Like Margarita or, let me see. No, well, Supreme Kai, AGL, like the West Supreme Kai, she's not on Peppy Gals. Like, they don't, the godly characters, like, they don't put on sexy gals, right? So it's like, if the category was just girls, you could get the Pan, like the Kid Pans on there. We could get, the Angels, like Vados and Margarita and stuff like that. Like, it would help overall. So, alright, I've blabbered away long enough. I mean, listen, I gotta give my thoughts, man. We're here. We're gameplay. 10 minutes of the video. How deep are we here? All right, we got the dodge. That's huge with Pan. Remember when Pan dodges right there? Yeah, so 4.66. Considering she has a 50% chance to crit, and for relevant units on her team, she's giving them 50% support, I would say that performance right there is quite impressive. Pan's super attack effect, by the way, she gets 30% attack and defense. Then she has a high chance to stun, and she does supreme damage. So again, I think I would really be sort of like okay with how Pan is looking. But I think for me, sort of the big thing I would want is rather than the 50% chance to crit she gets, give her, you know, guard, damage reduction, something, more dodge, right? Something like that. I feel like they could give her maybe another, like, 15, like, so if Pan, after she dodged, she got an extra 15% chance added to her dodge chance, I would probably take that over the high chance to crit. So that could buffer up to 75% chance to dodge. I think any higher than that is actually probably just, like, too OP. Because, again, dodge is the strongest thing you could do in the game. A character having, like, 80% dodge might be too much. Like, that's it would be just like so ridiculous. All right, now we have, I mean, this is, I think, essentially going to be the best rotation we're going to get for Pan, right? Already. I guess we could just end the video right here. So this is a crazy rotation in terms of support and stuff like that. Yeah. So there's Pan, 523k defense. Now remember, when her buff from dodging, the 100% attack and defense is massive because it is a multiplicative buff, right? Yeah, that is. That's a multiplicative buff, her getting the stats from dodging. That's why we look at her with the huge defense right there. I mean, on this rotation, she's certainly looking good because, remember, she gets 30% defense when she super attacks right here. So it's like she's going to be like over 700k defense after supering, right? Which is definitely solid. I mean, it's definitely solid because it's like, unless she's going to get hit by the metal cooler core, I think, okay, so on this rotation, I think the metal cooler core is the only boss that could do damage to Pan with normals. Cell Max, she's taking double digits from Cell Max. And sure, Pan is a boost character for Cell Max, but the boost is not defensively, it's only offensively. So they're doing, so, you know, defensive-wise against Cell Max is still impressive. Offensive against Cell Max just doesn't matter since those characters just do so much extra damage, right? But, I mean, she certainly looks good right here. And keep in mind her buff, again, it lasts for 4 turns. That buff she gets, so we do have it active right here. We have everything active except for Infighters, Battlefield Diva, and More Than Meets the Eye. She does have All in the Family, which again is really huge. This is the, you know, the Sun Family link, All in the Family. This is, you know, the defense link that many Goku family category characters have. Although it's typically like Kid Gohan's, base form Goku's, right? I guess other Gohan, like usually almost all the Gohans will have it. Besides, I guess what, like, I know like some of the Super Saiyan Gohans don't, but you guys get what I'm saying there. Okay, so let's see what damage Pan does right here. This is gonna be big because she's also 50% chance to crit while, you know, supporting as well. 6 million with the 50% chance to crit, her support and her dodge ability. I mean, she certainly looked really crazy there. Again, she's good. I don't put her above the top 3, and then Chilai I would say is better as well. But Pan is very good. I do like her. I mean, whereas Trunks and Goten, I just go, bleh. Pan is a character you can take into any event, right? I mean, maybe I probably wouldn't go crazy about bringing her against, like, Broly, right? Like Red Zone Broly, probably not. No. You know, the characters that cancel dodge, you don't really need to bring the dodge characters against those fights. But besides, like, Red Zone Broly, you know, Cell Max, Metal Cooler Core, Red Zone Metal Cooler, you know, any of the Red Ribbon Army Red Zone stages that are coming up that don't cancel dodge, like, Pan is good enough to go into all those, right? Like, if someone gets, oh my god, look at this screenshot of how crazy this character is, and you go, they have support, it doesn't count. That only works when it's, like, physical Kid Buu and shit, right? If it's Pan, or STR Piccolo, or Yajirobe, like, yeah, dude, they're legit. You take them into difficult content. Supports are so important. That's why, you know, STR Piccolo, Yajirobe, this Pan, Chilai are really good. Alright, guys, I just want to get a little bit more footage for our girl Pan. This will be perfect right here. So we'll have a good linking situation for her next to LRB Pan, All in the Family, Saiyan Lineage, Battlefield Diva, as well as Innocence are all activated. Pan is getting support from the AGL Kid Gohan as well. Let's go ahead and super attack right here. So this is going to be Pan without her damage and defensive buff. And I guess the crit chance as well from dodging, right? So let's see what Pan looks like. And she's down at 2 million. See, again, the buff she gets, that dodge buff is, it's just so big. That's why, like, it is also almost extra important that you build her full dodge, because it's like she is just getting so much direct power after she dodges an enemy. So it's like, I mean, no matter what, I would say full dodge for this character, because you are not going to win off of her doing damage. You're not going to win off of this Pan doing 1 crit compared to her not doing a crit. But you will win off of Pan dodging a super attack with built-in, with, you know, extra dodge built in over her not dodging, right? Like, it's just way infinitely more valuable on this character. My goal is to really change the perception in this community about dodge and just get people to understand how much it's just very, very underrated, and I think underutilized by a lot of the community. I understand why. It's because it was really pointless on release. It was, for sure. You know, when the hidden potential system came out, like, yeah, dude, like, just go full crit, call it a day, right? Like, yeah, run your, you know, STR Super Saiyan 4 Goku came out, what, 2 months afterwards? You just give him full crit and you let him, you know, crit everything on your way onto victory in all events. But it's not like that anymore. Years and years and years later, right? 6 years later, actually. Crazy. I remember, yeah, the second year anniversary characters reveal. Now we're about to get to the 8th anniversary character reveal. Okay, so this is a super strong rotation for Pan. The only issue with this is going to be her without her dodge buff. I guess let me pop this. I want to get one more rotation after this, I think, where maybe we have B Pan's active skill, then probably the 40% support Gohan, and then Pan, and we'll see what she can do. Now, here's the thing, though, about Pan, is she has her medium chance to dodge, and then she gets the extra 30% chance to dodge one enemy at the start of turn, if there's one enemy. But if there's 2 enemies, Pan gets an additional as a high chance of being a super. Now, this actually could be good, because if we were going to, say, do a Super Battle Road run with Pan, and she could potentially, you know, a double super or triple super, and thus double get a chance to stun, right? Because remember, Pan has her stun. So I don't, like, I feel like this is probably, like, it is structured well. You guys know how much I love dodge, right? But, I see the value in this. Like, she loses some of the dodge chance, but she gets the additional, which would give her a good chance to get a stun in. So there she is at, like, basically 3 million right there, but that's without her dodge buff activated. No stun. Here's the guaranteed additional. And then did we get the hidden potential system? We didn't. Okay. So yeah, there is Pan. Remember, again, she's got, I wanted to fight at least 2 enemies once to where she had, you know, the built-in additional right there, which she did against these 2. Yeah, let me get that one more rotation, and we can finish up. Alright, guys, let's get this very, 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 very fun rotation in. So we'll go ahead and pop B Pan's active skill. We have INT Pan's dodge up right here. We have most of our links activated. 456, so we'll have a little bit more defense in that one turn we saw, but her damage should be better, because Pan is not getting, like, a lot of attack buffs, like, on super attack or anything like that. Remember that the B Pan active skill support is better for characters who just have start of turn damage, which Pan does have a lot of. Yeah, 7 million right there. That's what I'm saying, man. You guys know what I would say? I would say, what if we shaved off a good 3 or 4 million from that and just funneled it right into defense, baby, or make her support better, right? You know, one extra way they could have really helped Pan out, seriously, is by giving her rainbow orb changing. Because I feel like if you look at Pan through the prism of she's supposed to help Piccolo and Gohan, right? Gohan, the support helps him a lot. But you know what would help what helps Gohan even more than support is orb changing. Because remember, Gohan has to hit 20 or 24 ki. He has to hit those 2 thresholds. Very difficult to do. For example, we can't do it on this turn, right? Sorry. You know what would really help this? Orb changing. That is the one thing. They could have given Pan some rainbow orb changing, and that would help. Because Gohan thrives off of having rainbow orb changes on the team. And it's like, you kind of... There are times you could potentially have too many rainbow orbs, but it's just just such a strong ability. Pan is really good, but she could have been just a little bit better, but very good. I might update my ban. I don't do my banner unit tier list every single time a new banner unit comes out. I don't think I did one when Yajirobe came out, but with Yajirobe and Pan both now being out, I think I will do an update to that. And also STR Piccolo is, of course, you know, a lot more powerful now that we have Orange Piccolo in the game as well. So, all right, let's go ahead and take a look at Pan's details. All right, this is Promising New Blood. Pan Kid. Her leader skills Bond of Parent and Child category key 3 and 130% of stats. Her super attack is the Maiden Rush, which raises attack and defense by 30% for one turn. Then does supreme damage with a high chance of stunning the enemy. That's a 50% chance. Her passive skill, Super New Blood, gives her 2 key and 150% attack and defense at the start of turn. Then she gives Superheroes category allies 1 key and 30% attack and defense. And then if characters who are also on Bond of Parent and Child or Bond of Master and Disciple, they get an additional 1 key and 20% attack and defense. But they need to be a part of both categories. Like, Pan is not supporting, I guess, like, Whis or Beerus are on Bond, a Master, and a Disciple, they're not going to get the 1 key and 20% attack and defense because they're also not on superheroes. You have to be on superheroes and then also the additional category to get both buffs, right? Then Pan gets a medium chance to dodge, 30% chance. Then she gets an additional 30% chance just straight added to it when facing one enemy at the start of turn. So against one enemy, Pan has a 60% chance to dodge. You know, they really could have made that a plus 40%, so Pan could have a 70% chance to dodge. I think that does help quite a bit. 60 is still pretty good. 70 is really good. They're probably not going to go above 70 almost ever, but, you know, I think they could have maybe done that here to give her 75. I don't think they'll ever, like, that's... It's just like, again, you can't lose if you're dodging. That's why they have to make it a chance, right? So she gets a 30% extra chance to dodge. It's not two separate procs, right? Like, it's not like Pan has a 30% chance to dodge. That fails, and she gets another 30% chance to dodge, right? It's just, it combines and becomes 60% chance to dodge. Then she gets an additional attack that has a high chance of being a super when facing 2 or more enemies at the start of turn. That could actually be fairly handy because of her stun. So maybe you could, super attack, you don't stun, additional super, stun, boom, you're in business, right? That could be pretty good. Getting the guaranteed additional there. I wish it was just a straight up guaranteed additional super though, but I mean, it's still at least decent. I probably would prefer the dodge, but with the stun chance, it's not bad. And then finally, she gets an additional 100% attack and defense and a high chance, a 50% chance to crit for 4 turns after dodging an attack. And that is a huge buff, as we showed. Her link set is all in the family, Saiyan lineage, Infighter, Battlefield Diva, More Than Meets the Eye, Innocence, and Fierce Battle. 12 kill inspire, 145%, pretty good. That's higher than normal. Typically, this type of character would be 140%. That's another reason Pan probably hits a bit harder than I was expecting at some points. And then finally, our girl Pan is on a few category teams. She, of course, is on the new superhero category team, which is good. Pan is also on Bond of Parent and Child. Very, very, very powerful category. Pan is also on the Hybrid Saiyan team. Nice little addition to the Hybrid team, which is good. Pan is also on the Movie Hero category team. Strongest category in the game, I think, at this moment. Pan is also, of course, on the Goku family team. Another massively strong team. Then Pan is also on the Youth category team. We've had some nice additions to the Youth team. Dokkan Fest Pan. Now this Kid Pan. Dokkan Fest Kid Goku. Pretty good. Definitely a nice help to the Youth category team. Then Pan is also on Bond of Master and Disciple right here. And then finally, Pan is on the Warrior Raised on Earth category, Dokkan Fest Yamcha's team. So, let me know what you guys think of the superhero banner unit Pan. I do think she's very good. She's probably not, approaching one of the top 3 banner units, but I think Pan is very, very good.